Extremely popular Mamma Mia cafe in Dublin closes after 16 years of an ongoing IPAS situation. This is another breaking news story, of course, from September 7th, 2025. It says here, a popular Dublin city centre restaurant says they've been forced to close after 16 years of serving the community because of ongoing situation with asylum seekers and refugees, illegal immigrants, this EU, UN, mass illegal human trafficking, and the lack of support regarding the same from authorities. So this is a crazy article. A lot of people don't understand how bad the situation here is in Ireland and in Dublin. This explains exactly how bad it is. So these people cannot conduct business. They cannot go about in productive form, do their business, sell coffee, make money, make breakfast for people, because it is so dangerous now in Dublin. There's an IPAS centre right next door to this cafe in that area of Dublin, and they are causing havoc. That's the multicultural shit pot that we've now been forced to accept in this country. There is an absolute crazy havoc going on in the city centre. People are coming into the Mamma Mia cafe. They're causing havoc. They're frightening the staff members. They're attacking people, stabbing people, going crazy, running around naked. It's an absolute shit show. Like literally, it's a nightmare now in that part of Dublin, and they have to close. I mean, that's crazy. Nobody wants to go there anymore as well because there's so many crazy people around. It's the ghettoization of these certain parts of Dublin. I saw it when I was there recently, crossing the north towards the Sports Direct over in the north of Dublin, near the Spire. It was absolutely crazy, lads. Like I said, I'll never go back there ever again. Never, ever again. It says the owners of the Italian restaurant Mamma Mia, which is located on Mount Street, close to the International Protection Office, where asylum claimants are processed, announced the news on social media this week. So they said, "We are very sad to share the news. We have been forced to make a very difficult decision to close our restaurant after 16 years. This has been devastating to us, but unfortunately, due to an ongoing IPAS and IPO situation, we are surrounded by our business." So the business is surrounded by these refugees, these people from Roma Gypsy, war-torn parts of Africa and the Middle East, South Asia, like crazy, India, Pakistan, like who knows who these people are? ISIS, Al-Qaeda fractions, Al-Shabaab. Who the hell knows who these people are? Nobody knows who they are. They're not processed properly. They're unvetted immigrants. They're just they're crazy crackpots. And there's nothing being done about it. It's just getting worse and worse, actually. It says we can no longer be sustainable due to the lack of support and help from both Dublin City Council and government bodies. That's crazy. So that means basically the Gardaí can't help them because they've had so much crazy shit going on there. They've had so many flipping people attacking their business. They've had so many Gardaí calls, so many police come to the property. It's just not worth their while anymore. Their staff feel threatened. Crazy stuff. We would like to say thanks to all our customers who have supported us over the last 16 years. You really did us good, keeping us good, going through the good and bad times, through the lockdowns, obviously. It's a sad day for us. Thank you from Ruth and Clint. Mamma Mia. I mean, absolute scandalous, says Paul Trevard. Absolute scandalous is right. Absolutely scandalous, guys. Like that. This is now affecting the money. You see, I think what's going to happen is eventually these crackpot IPAS people, they'll start to affect the money, and then people will wake up. When some woman gets sexually assaulted, nobody cares. Everyone just, nobody cares, or men, whatever, get killed. But when someone robs a bank or something affects the money of the government, then the government step in. Oh no, we can't have that. Women can get killed and sexually assaulted, it doesn't matter. But as soon as it affects the money, then the government care. Then they're like, oh, let's arrest everybody. So just wait for that. Mount Street hit international news headlines in 2024 after those seeking international protection began setting up tents outside the office, with the state unable to house them. So there's a tent city. There's hundreds of tents lining the streets of Dublin. It's like a flipping gypsy state. It's absolutely disgusting. Business owners and residents of Dublin's Mount Street expressed concerns of the buildup of more than 200 tents. Crazy stuff. Barricades were put in place around the IPAS centres, and Dublin City Council removed them. So they removed the tents, finally. So those living on Mount Street said that it was very dangerous, security, etc., very, very dangerous. Any suggestions that I brought to them, they're not taking them. So this is now Gript Media. Of course, I'm reacting to Gript Media. The only news station I talk about is Gript Media. They're the only people I can trust. Every other news station in this country, pretty much, that is mainstream are absolutely bought and paid for. They're here to brainwash us. So shout out to Gript Media. They actually went to talk with these people. They said any suggestions I've brought to them, they're not taking them on. People are not going to come to my restaurant and spend money to look out at a horrific view. It's heartbreaking because our business was booming before the tents, and these barriers are just going on month by month. Our business is on its knees, and we felt like we've been completely forgotten about. It's hard to believe that it's still going on. Footfall, so that's footfall is like a business term, how many people walk by the business. Business footfall at the popular Dublin restaurant has diminished due to the barricades, which hamper any hope of recovery after the downturn experienced due to the tent encampment. Absolutely disgusting. Well-known chef and restaurateur Paul Trevard said the situation was absolutely scandalous and is way beyond a joke at this stage. Yeah, it's absolutely scandalous. Like, it's absolute disaster. How they're not doing anything about this is just disgusting. I truly think it's a disgusting display of what the government can and can't do. I truly think that if it affected the money or the government officials in any way, they would then step in and do something. But because it's not, they don't care. Absolutely disgusting. That is the worst story ever. And this situation is going to keep getting worse and worse. The amount of IPAS centres that are now all over the country in flipping Dublin, Cork, Donegal, Limerick, Galway, like they're everywhere now. And it's going to keep branching out until the whole country just turns into a big shit pile. It's going to keep getting more and more ghetto from randomers around the world, and it's just going to be lost. The country is going to be lost. The heritage, the culture, nobody cares about it anymore. So the last news story we have here is a Christian priest calling out the government's reckless immigration policies. Of course, the whole country knows that immigration is the very real threat that we face today. It's a national security threat. The whole country feels threatened. There's people getting randomly stabbed every few weeks in Galway. Every single week, there's someone getting stabbed in Dublin. It's an absolute disaster. The immigration of this country has to be shut down. We need to shut down the borders, do an audit of who is here, and then restore, hopefully, some tourism and some things like that. But none of this IPAS centres no more. It has to be cut out. It has to be eradicated immediately because it keeps getting worse and worse. Let's hear what this priest has to say.
You turn up here and then it's managed. You're looked after. Instead of being promptly sent back where you came from and told to apply by a legal method to come into the country. Could we not be making a better job of this? And should we not be firmer in making sure that people who are undesirable or shouldn't be here are sent back? It is causing an awful lot of unrest. It's causing an awful lot of trouble across Europe. Germany is up.
And let it be known, this is done by our government. They're getting paid to do this. This is Irishly ethnic people that are destroying the country. You know, people coming from IPAS centers, they'll kill us, they'll stab us, they'll behead us in the street. They'll sexually assault the kids and women, vulnerable people. They'll do crazy shit. But our own people are going to be the destruction of the country. Our own people are letting all these people in. They're the ones making the money from it. They do not care. As long as they're making money, money is their God. This priest now understands that money is their God. There is no religion anymore. Let it be known in Ireland. There is no religion anymore. There is no moral stand higher ground. There is no moral standing point. There is no ethics on anybody anymore. As long as you make loads of money, that's what's correct. That's what it is now. Everybody worships the euro.
Already admitted, our German politicians, some very distinguished German politicians have already admitted that they've made very serious mistakes in this area. Yet Ireland seems to traipse on. Now, I'm not anti-immigration. I am in favour of what I would openly call discriminatory immigration. And I mean discrimination in a positive, constructive sense. Now, if it were up to me, I would only permit Christian immigration into Europe. Because Europe's whole background and history has been shaped by Christianity.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong, guys. He's not wrong. So if you wanted to work and do a few different things here, maybe you could come here if you're not. But the thing is, guys, like everyone knows that Europe is Christian. North America is mostly those Christian values, that kind of stuff. Like, people understand that this guy is correct. He would only let Christian immigrants into the country. Yeah. And there's loads of countries in the world that are Christian, but Europe is its own place. So is Africa, so is the Middle East, so is South Asia, so is Latin America. Europe and Christianity go hand in hand, and North America and Christianity go hand in hand. So it is definitely a thing to think about. He said he was not anti-immigration. I mean, most people in this country are anti-immigration. You kind of have to be nowadays because there's just too many people. The numbers are too great. It used to be against anti-illegal immigration, but now it has to be anti bringing in millions of people because there's just too many. There's too many people, and there's not enough houses. There's not enough resources. It's just crazy now. It's gone way too far, the immigration, legal and illegal.
Yeah, I would only permit Christian immigration into Ireland.
Yep.
I think I think you can justify that on any number of grounds. Only Christian immigration. But that's not being done. People from a certain socioeconomic background have noticed that they're being shafted. And even if they're not, they seem to be very clear that they are.
Big time. All the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Like, look at Dublin. You can clearly see a divide. Once you cross over to the south, everyone's rich, happy, wealthy. When you cross over to the north, poor, working class, a lot of people doing heroin, open drug use. I didn't see one white Irish person. It's just completely surrounded by Bangladesh people, whatever, crazy people. Like, it was just a nightmare. Dublin's just turned into a nightmare in some parts. And the Dublin people are salt of the earth people. These people are the people that helped create the country what it is today. No, it's gone too far. The poor now, if you're not getting money in 2025, you're screwed. Like, you're absolutely screwed. Like, people are distracting themselves with drinking, partying, hanging out. It's crazy. The country's gone crazy.
That's a problem. That is a political problem, as well as everything else. So I think the government should be a lot more worried about this than they are. And they're not going to solve it by staying awake at night because there might be a far-right boogeyman hiding under the bed.
100%. I don't even think that they know what far-right even is. They just say far-right, but nobody even knows. Like me, I'm more right-leaning, more conservative, but what does far-right mean? Does it mean you're Hitler? You're coming to take over the country because you're the new Hitler? Because I don't know anybody that's the new Hitler. Like it's just this sort of facade that the government paint us, this sort of like image that the government paint us. Don't let someone more conservative into power because they'll ruin the country. Like, no, they won't. Like, this is crazy stuff. This is insanity. The Irish government have lost their minds.
Very clear is that an awful lot of people, very many of them from the working class, seem to feel enormously threatened. And most of those seem to be perfectly decent people.
Yeah.
Now you must ask why perfectly decent, affable, amiable people are suddenly frightened.
The middle class, the lower middle class, and the working class, they're all the salt of the earth people. They're all the greatest people of this country. Everybody loves these people. The elites, these aristocrats, the bourgeoisie of Ireland are bastards. They all want to screw us over. They don't care if we all die. They don't care if some guy comes over from the third world country and is ISIS and he beheads us. They don't care. They're making money. Why would they care? They're happy, guys. They're happy we're getting killed.
And worried. Because they're being stirred up by the far right. That's too simplistic. That's far too simplistic. It's because they can see demonstrable evidence of a problem.
Yep.
The country is being crammed. And furthermore, it's being crammed with people who simply do not have any sympathy with the country or its culture. Now, I would argue only Christians. Many of you probably won't agree with me. I don't know. But whatever you argue, the people coming in should at least somehow be able to dovetail intellectually, culturally, emotionally with the society that exists here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. 100%. Obviously, I don't think anyone that worships any other religion is bad. No way. Not at all, actually. Those countries in the Middle East are great, actually. A lot of those countries, very, very rich, great people. But a lot of these people, everyone that's coming in these IPAS centers are coming from third world war-torn places like Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan. They don't fit in culturally here, or war-torn parts of Africa, Tunisia, North Africa, Libya. These places have been war-torn for centuries. in decades.
Some minimal extent.
Yeah.
And that minimum is substantial.
Yeah.
Now, we have a problem here. Okay, and all these parades with all these tricolours, which are regarded with so much contempt by the authorities, you'd better not get over yourselves. You better start paying close attention to this. I'll tell you all that's wanting in this situation, and it hasn't happened yet, is the emergence of a charismatic leader. And if that happens, I would strongly advise the mainstream political parties, the so-called legacy parties, to grip both sides of the armchair and pour themselves a stiff whiskey.
Hey, that was class. So he said at the end, if there's a charismatic leader, hey, shit, I could be the charismatic leader. I could run for government. Wait on a second. Let me just relax a second. Let me not get ahead of ourselves here. Chris is running for president now. Okay, I'm not even old enough to run for president. Chris is running for Taoiseach now. Okay, let's slow down. Let's take it one step at a time. But what he's saying is correct. Okay, if some charismatic leader on the right or the far right boogeyman, if he was to come along, I think we already have those people. We have Doran from Galway. We have Anthony Casey. We have a lot of people that are who I would vote for. I would vote for Anthony Casey. I think he's a legend. Actually, I've watched a lot of his stuff. There's a lot of different charismatic people on the right. I think there's a lot of people on the right that can definitely run the country a lot better than any of these far left Marxists that are currently in government. These communists that hate the country. What about John Wilson or John Waters? What about all these different guys? I think he's 70 years old. They're great, charismatic, great. James Conway, I would vote for him. There's so many people. We just haven't had the platform to push these people, but hopefully using my platform, I can push all these lads forward. Hopefully. I mean, I don't want to be stepping on anybody's toes, but hopefully I can just use my platform to push everyone. And that's what it is, guys. I'm a team kind of guy, but I want to be flipping, pushing and helping push these people along. Like, that's all this platform is used for. Promote this anti-woke agenda, this anti-communist Marxist agenda that we have that's taken over, this ideology that's infected the youth and the elderly of this country. The youth and the middle age of this country are so infected by this woke mind virus. And hopefully using my platform, we can push back against them. This priest is absolutely correct on everything he says. Great, smart guy. And now it's great to see priests are coming out, school teachers are coming out that are more right-leaning or far right, as the mainstream media calls it. It's not far right to be logical and to have common sense. Don't listen to any of these mainstream media bastards. They are dead. We are winning. They're scared because we're winning. They are petrified because we get more views than any of these mainstream media platforms. I love you all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. For just €3 per month can help support me push back against the mainstream media platforms. The mainstream media is dead. It's on its knees. We are taking over now. They're just disruptors. We're the mainstream media. I love you guys all, and I'll see you all in the next one, man. Peace.